slid on a back street, heavy on the Parmesan, everyday tax season. What the fuck you wearing, bro? It's tacky. Niggas laying on their deathbed trying to match me. Oh my god, I'm about to do the fool. They be screaming out Pete, but they resume is boof. Switch both lanes, the engine sound like the zoo. Need a fee just to breathe, bitch. I can talk to you. Mr. Ben Frank murderer, Mr. I ain't heard of ya. Gar strings back to back, flying through the turbulence. Who is he? Free lunch, craft services. Throw your ass out this rental if I smell nervousness. Hey now, say now.
Alright, guys. So, here we are, back once again. Laggy days and laggy ways. I want to introduce you guys to Karamui. This is the last town in, yeah, there we go, the lag's cleared up here. Yeah, this is the last town in, not Astoltia, but I guess Astoltia in general. Version 1, you could say. And it is one of my favorites in the whole game, actually. I really love how this town looks. I really love the music, basically everything about it. The banger story here is about to take place. This is our last key emblem, the Sakura key emblem, the pink one. And I really do like this story. It's kind of like the Magistra story with plenty of good twists, good characters, okay plot line. So before we get into our topics of the day, which will be a Reddit story about basically about choosing poorly, relationship wise, and having to clean up the mess afterward. After the Reddit story, I think I might get into some marriage signs, green flags, red flags, and things like that, just to help you guys pick better, because I feel like that's a good lesson that we need to learn from this, is just choose better. And in the honeymoon phase, you gotta still be choosing. You know, I know it's the honeymoon phase. I know you're having fun. I know you're fucking each other's brains out, but we also have to be choosing. We also have to be perceptive and not just looks for surface level shit here, you know? So let's get into the story spoiler section before I get into all that soapbox bullshit. Guys, the story here is pretty awesome. So we have our king. That's the guy right there, a little kid. He's old now, but this whole kingdom used to be in a different place before, you know, Nurgle did the whole thing with the smog and all that bullshit. So that was 10 years ago. Back at the old castle, when the king was young, I think it was 50 years ago. Whatever, it was a long time ago, because the king's old as hell now, right? So the king is, right now, he's back over at that old castle, trying to figure out what happened. We're gonna go see what he's doing. And basically what the miasma did to this kingdom, this country, was force them all out of their regular inhabitants because of the smog killing crops and killing people and overtaking their minds and whatnot. Just doing bad shit. Just doing bad shit. So they all had to move to this place, which I think is much better than the other kingdom, but, you know, I don't know. I didn't see it in its prime, so. Nevertheless, we're going to go see the ruins right now and find out what the king is up to. And then once we catch up to the king, we're going to see, oh shit, it is giving you, oh my god, damn, warning alarms. Oh! So anyways, yeah, we're going to go see the king, and we are seeing hallucinations of the past, you know, past ghost and whatnot, and the king has that memory, that flashback that he shares with us where he sees that his little sister killed the queen, and that's kind of what set off the catalyst, if you will, for the destruction of the kingdom when the queen died, right? So he finds that out. He's like, why did she die like that? And then the queen, in the flashback, tells us to get a leaf from the dark tree. That's very important, right? So we go back to the kingdom here. And I think what I'm doing in town here, guys, I think I'm just getting some pants. Because I checked my equipment and I saw I don't have pants on. So we're gonna go get pants at the little weapon shop down here, okay? So that's what we're doing before we leave, but let me get back to the story spoilers. Basically, Queen Lady told us to get a dark leaf, a leaf from the dark tree. It is going to be a dark leaf. It's a leaf from the dark tree, and bring it back to her. So we go back to the kingdom of Karamui, and then we talk to the king, and that's what we do. We both have to go to the dark tree and get a leaf. Me and that one guy that you saw in the first cutscene, I forget his name. It's not important. We'll see it again soon. But me and that guy, who is definitely super helpful this entire time, we go to the Dark Tree, which I've shown you a little bit of. That was in our level up quest where we went to the Dark Tree in Sunset Meadow. We go there and get the leaf by fighting a bunch of Dark Tree Guardians. They go down pretty easily, no worries there. You come back, and then we go back to the queen, and she's like, "Oh, you brought the leaf. Thank you. You revived me." Because you bring the leaf there, and then it sort of like morphs her into there. And if you're any kind of RPG Dragon Quest aficionado person, you probably recognize that there's more to the eye than that at that point of the story, right? Like, oh, you just bring a dark leaf and she turns into the dark leaf, or she turns, yeah, she transforms. The dark leaf transforms into her. That's a little sus. So she transforms, and then she's like, we got to go to the lake to purify it, and then you'll figure out your memories, to purify the lake. And the king definitely believes her. King's like, yes, I have to purify the lake. I believe you. So we go finish off the dungeon in the Cursed Land and just go to the end of that. And when we get to this lake for the queen to purify, she transforms, and she's not the queen. She's an evil spider. She's an evil spider lady, and she decides to kill us. And that is why the king's little sister murdered her. And she was very small at the time that she murdered her mother. Apparently, she saw that the Aranid, the Arachnid, whatever his name is, she saw that he took over her mom long ago. So she was killing the Arachnid guy to stop them from overtaking the world tree and making the miasma grow further over to the true Karamui city and all that good stuff. So, in the end, sister was right. Gotta kill your mom. Gotta kill your mom. I think this story's a pretty good banger. It's got a good twist to it. It's got good levels to it. And I mostly just like the environment, I like the aesthetic. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. And I'm a fan of these pants that we just got. Anybody else? Anybody else? The baggy pants? I like the Paladin tights, but they're a little, well, they're tights, so show off all my curves and shit. And I like to do that when I am lady, not so much when I'm Kung Fu Kenny. So we'll do the baggy pants. We will not do the Paladin tights for now. Over here, we are on our way to go see the king. First part of the quest. That was the end of the story spoilers, by the way. Let me finish off the section. No more story spoilers here. We're going out to see the king and see if he needs any assistance getting his memories back on what happened to the old country. So. You can actually exit the town from the top. I don't do that. I exited from the bottom here, as you can see. So we have a little bit longer of a walk, but that's good because I do actually like the walks in this game. I'm over here just making sure I know where I'm going. No worries. But on this journey, guys, we got some listening material. We got some, some reading material to go through. Very fun stuff too, because I like this story. I like unpacking people's messes, seeing where they went wrong in their life. Because honestly, a lot of times there's a lot of red flags in these stories, and just seeing how people um distinguish that people are of value. Let's say that. How people distinguish that, hey, I see you, you have value to me. I want you in my life. I think a lot more steps need to be in that process, personally. A lot more barriers to entry, if you will. Because people are very accepting for an aesthetic. And I feel like, looks aren't everything. Not even like personality is everything. It's like a mashup of all that bullshit. Um, Let me go ahead and switch my chargers here. I'm gonna move stuff around, so hopefully you don't hear too much of that. I'm just gonna do it silently. Not silently, but do it as silent as possible. Here we go. Let me check to see my recording's still going, and we're still fine in the lag chronicles here. All right. So I'm gonna move this here. Move this wire around like that. Ooh, that is right around my coffee. Let's just move that over there. Because I want to change this charger. No worries, guys. We're going to end the story soon. Just relax. Just relax, Out, maybe. Go grab your drink. Go grab a little coffee. Just pack a bowl real quick. And we'll go ahead and get into this. We have a Reddit story entitled, this is from Best of Redditor Updates. I love this. I love this one. So I like the ones with the updates, clear endings, clear resolutions. I mean, these are random people online, but I do like the conclusiveness of it. I like the conclusiveness of it, So this is from Best of Redditor Updates. It says, "Am I the asshole for refusing to give my late husband's possible affair baby any money?" Oh my goodness. So we have a lot of things here. We got a lot of keywords in this title here. We got a dead husband. We got an affair that she had no idea about, apparently. And we have her refusing to give her any baby money. So, I'd say, in general, that's kind of an asshole move, unless you don't have it. If you don't have it, then, how are you the asshole? I can't give what I don't have. So, if you're well off, though, and you find out, this guy's dead, and he's got another kid, his seed spawned something else, and I chose him. I chose him. I married this guy. We went through the whole fucking ceremony and had the matrimony and did the fucking... I chose, right? I'd say you have that responsibility because, it's his spawn. It's his seed. You were slurping up that seed when he was alive, so you might as well pay the price for what it is then. So my perspective here is that, yes, you are the asshole, if and only if you have it. If you don't have it, then you're obviously not the asshole. So let's get into this and see what's going on in this story here, okay? So yeah, am I the asshole for refusing to give my late husband's possible affair baby any money? Get some trigger warnings just in case you need them. Infidelity and drug addiction, okay? Okay. So, my husband passed away almost 3 years ago, leaving me a solo mom of an 8-year-old. So yeah, they were married for at least 8 years. That's kind of intense, at least 8 years. That's still a very long time, guys. Like, I'm 20 something. I forget how old I am now. I don't even feel like talking about that. But I'm not even finished with my 20s, and I feel like these 8 years of my 20s have been a lifetime in general. I feel like the 8 years, me being 8 to 18, were crazy, So, just 8 years alone is a long marriage. And to say goodbye to someone permanently after that long is very sad. So let's continue. Um, let's just say if he were alive, we wouldn't still be married. Ooh, okay. So yeah, yikes. Possibly didn't choose the right one. Possibly didn't choose the right one. Um, but let's continue. Let's see how true that is. About 6 weeks ago, a process server showed up trying to serve him with a court order to submit DNA for a kid. I gave him a copy of the death certificate and sent him on his way. Oh my. Let me move the mic closer to me so I can relax back in my chair. Okay, so shortly after that, a woman shows up on my doorstep saying that the kid she had with her was my late husband's child. Is it? I don't know. I don't care. It looks like it's kind of fucked up calling the kid an id, but we'll continue on. I don't know. I don't care. It kind of looks like him, but it also looks young enough that they would have to have been conceived very, very shortly before his death. Ooh. I told her that he was gone and where she could find his grave. She almost immediately started demanding her half of his estate. I laughed and told her half of nothing was nothing, and she was welcome to that. Yikes. So, yeah. They weren't rich. They obviously don't have it, so yeah, I'm going with not the asshole. Definitely, 100%. Also, this bitch is crazy because immediately after you find out that this dude that you thought was going to be a father to your child is dead, you ask for estate money like that. That don't line up. You know, you had to already know, and you had to already be here just for money. So I hate people like that play dumb and act like, you know, the storyline that they created in their head is exactly what's going to come to pass. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so bullshit. It's so bullshit. This stupid game we play with each other of back and forth conversations, you know? Intentionally omitting information that you already know so you can be told and then act surprised and blah blah. Come on, no. If you're here to ask for baby money, then ask for baby money. You already know he's dead. Don't immediately start asking for it. No, that's crazy. That's unhinged behavior. You need God. You need Jesus. Um, you need to find out more about this woman. So we're gonna read on. Um, where I've been informed that I might be TA, the asshole. I'm sorry. I gotta brush up on my my Reddit lingo here. I don't know. That was bad. It must be too early in the morning. It must be way too early in the morning, but nevertheless, I'll start over here. The TA really got me off. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? All right. Let me start this paragraph over here. Where I've been informed that I might be the asshole is that while it's true there was no estate, there were assets that passed outside of probates. One of those assets was a rental property that his parents gave us years ago, deeded with him as I joint tenant with the rights of survivorship. In short, it became mine when he died. I've already sold it, and that will be the money that sends my kids to college. Legally, I'm good. I already talked to my attorney about this. While I feel bad for this child, I also have I also have a child of my own to look out for. That's true. That's true. You gotta take care of your own. So I'm not mad at that. I can't be mad at that. Let's continue here. She's gonna edit to answer a few questions. Okay, so no, there was no will in place for him. In my state, interstate inheritance law says that only the heirs are made to me and my child, and the first 50K of the estate go to me and my child and what's left, okay? If this does turn out to be his child, then half of the estate would go to me and half to the children. I.e., the children would get 25%, the other child would get 25%, okay? Yeah. However, it's a moot point because his estate was literally an empty bank account and $40 in cash. $40? Everything else passed outside of probate. A good attorney is worth every penny if I could ever get him to meet with her to do his damn well. And he had no life insurance. Wow. Who is this guy? Who is this nigga? Mac, who is this nigga? How do you have a girl, not even a girl, but you're married and you have nothing in your bank account? She has, you have separate bank accounts and you have nothing in your wallet. I don't know. How did he, bro? I need more details about this dude. Like, who is this guy? And this should be like a huge confidence booster for you out there, guys. Like, how many people have more than $40 in their wallet? Huh? You can get a girl. You can get married. It's possible. Someone out there is looking at your face and they're like, I want that and I don't care what else is attached to it. I assure you. Because this guy, could be a supermodel, you know? Like, come on, man. There's no way. If he was a supermodel, it'd probably be easy for him to get money. A job. Something in his bank account. Hello? I don't know. He probably owed something to the mafia or something. This sounds crazy. I don't know how you can die with nothing. And no life insurance. But she probably doesn't want to get into his death or anything, so I don't think they talk about that in this story. So, we're gonna continue on either way. So yes, she's in the U.S. and her child is receiving survivor's benefits. They aren't huge, but they do pay for the therapy bills. He hadn't worked the vast majority of our marriage, but luckily he did have enough credits to qualify. At this point, I'm not opposed to helping the other child receive the same benefits, since it won't affect mine. However, my attorney has recommended to hold off at this time because we don't know what she's planning. That's true. That's true. People are... She's already done some unhinged shit by coming to your house and demanding half of his non-existent money. Like, what did you even know about this guy? And you were a fair baby. She says she didn't even know if they were married. She doesn't know if she knows they were married. So this bitch could be crazy. We're not sticking our necks out just because there's a child involved, you know? You're also helping her because it's her responsibility. So I know there's young people in here, and you want to be a good Samaritan, and you want to show how much heart you have, and you want to secure your place in heaven. But guys, it ain't worth it to help everybody. You got to protect your own neck, and this woman is smart to do that. And the attorney, I guess, is smart to do that. She's smart to go to the attorney who was smart to do that. Okay. She assures me that the other mother files Social Security. They will backdate in any payments, so at least the date field. So holding off won't affect the total amounts if it does turn out to be his child. Okay. So the story goes, we don't know if that's her child, his child yet. You don't know if the other kid, the it, is hers yet. My idea is that it is. And that's just because this guy seems hella unhinged. Like $0 in your bank account right before you died. $40 in the wallet. She already said if he was alive now, she wouldn't be married to him. So I'm thinking infidelity was it was first on the table there, It was all locked in and ready to go. I'm going to turn my heater off. Hopefully that provides less background noise for you guys. And this is where we see over in Dragon Quest Town, little girl just killed her mom. And King over here, King Nickel, I think that's his name. He's asking why. So we're going to take him back to the palace. And we're going to figure some shit out here. So, as we're doing in Dragon Quest Land. Let's go back to the story, though. So, my husband's parents were alive, but our relationship was strained at best. I haven't told them about any of this and have done my best to keep them believing that their son was a saint. See, I don't think it's right to protect people like this. Dude is dead. Dude is fucking dead. And usually you don't like to hear bad things about people who are dead, but it affects your life and it's reality, and you raised this motherfucker, so I feel like y'all gotta just hold up your side of the bargain and, just take that shit to the chin. It's fucked, but I don't agree with this perspective. I feel like if I was this kid's parent, I would want to know. If I was this kid's parent, I wouldn't want to be alive while he's dead, of course. But if he's dead, I want to know the mistakes he made. I want to know mistakes he made, so um, I can look back on myself and evaluate the mistakes I made with him. You know, but I feel like this is valuable information. I don't know if it's gonna help you in the afterlife. It'll certainly help you while you're here. If you want to build better relationships in your life, you gotta fucking constructively criticize yourself from what you've done wrong in the past, because they obviously did him wrong in some way. Um, and the problem is with old people, they're so stuck in their ways, it's hard for them to change anything. Because they've just done things a certain way for so long. So there are certain types that are subject to change, and there are certain types that just kind of go with the flow and do their own thing. And it's usually very easy to, at least for me, to single these types out as far as seeing whether or not they're going to change or not. It usually takes me a good like 3 months of knowing someone to tell which group they're in. Which group are you in the growth group or the stagnant group? And a lot of older people, let's just say they're in the stagnant group. At least a lot of people my age. This is an inherent growth stage in life that I'm at, where you have a choice to become the person you want to be, or to slowly become the person you hate. Those are the only two options. So I'd rather work towards something productive. The king just told us to go to the dark tree, get that leaf, and bring it back to the abandoned castle. So that's what we're doing here. We're gonna go to Sunset Meadow, meet up with our guy here, the Kiki boy. Um, and it's gonna be a good time here. It's gonna be a good time, I promise you. So we got some comments here that I can read off before we get to the second part of the story. This first part, I didn't even give the date over here. It was earlier this year. It was like July 31st when this happened. And then we're gonna go to the update, which was pretty recent. December 5th was when this update was. But before we do that, I'm gonna read some comments here. So this one got downvoted. Not the asshole for having nothing to offer, but you are definitely the asshole for referring to this child as an it. Like he or she isn't alive to you. That's not what referring to people as an it means. But whatever. If you call something an it, that doesn't mean you don't think it's alive. That just means you're not gendering it. That just means you don't want to refer to it as a personified being. You that doesn't mean you don't think it's alive. Like what? How do you get that out of that? How hateful! Oh my god. How hateful. That child is innocent, completely innocent, and they are a person who literally did nothing to ask for your cruel dismissiveness of their very humanity. This person is so dramatic. I hate people on the internet like this. Like this is certainly, it just reads like an outcry. Like somebody just wants to feel bad for someone for some reason, Like this child did nothing. We have to fight for them. We have to fight. Like what are you fighting for? Obviously someone doesn't love you in your life, and you're looking for validation in a Reddit post of all places. Like, God, man, go create something. Go build something. Go cook. I feel like a lot of people who do this shit online, they need to learn just the natural, easy skill of cooking. Cooking, because that's what you're doing on this fucking platform, bro. You're cooking, but the shit you cook on this platform is disgusting, and nobody wants to eat it. Nobody wants to taste. But if you learn to actually cook, develop a meal, eat it, share it with people, feel like they'd be less vindictive, you know? They would have something to work on in life. Because that's what you need. You need another focus than just being outraged on the internet for other people. This is a child that you know nothing or care nothing about. It's also a bastard child. Um, and given the context, I think it's very appropriate for her to refer to it as something other than a he or she. And if you look at the OP's comment back to this, it actually makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to maintain some semblance of privacy here by not referencing whether it's a boy or a girl. I live in a small town and the rumors are already flying. That makes a lot of sense to me. I thought it was weird that she called it an it too. I thought that was weird. But you don't have to automatically assume something negative about it. A lot of people go down this route just because it's very easy and it's very not interesting, but attention grabbing to immediately jump on the negative train. I say you have to assume the neutral. Assume the neutral or positive. Always. Especially in real life. I don't really comment on the internet. I make content. I don't really comment or look at comments too much. And unless it's like on Reddit and I'm doing this. And I'm saying that now to make it a reality because I am tired. I am sick and tired of scrolling through Reddit comments at fucking 3 a.m. at night because I can't sleep. I'm sick of doing that. So I'm saying this now to stop myself from doing this in the future, basically. I feel like if you put anything into words and you really mean it, it'll help you break things down and really stop things in the future. Especially since this is fucking going on the internet, dog. Like I got a fucking permanent public journal. um, but yeah, I want to stop reading Reddit comments for fun. I don't think they're productive to me, especially when I read shit like this and it just pisses me off. But yeah, the outrage currency is crazy. Is fucking insane. And I think we all just need to chill out. I think we all just need to chill out, play a little Dragon Quest, you know? Fucking fight some trees. Oh. Okay, so we have another comment here. And they say, not the asshole, and for what it's worth, that's not a terribly uncommon scam for some reason. If you have the papers, I'd look to see if they were even legitimate. That is true. That is true. If your husband was a weird guy, which I think he is, he's probably involved with a lot of weird women. And girls are just mean. And they try to find the easiest way to make money possible. So they see a dead guy, and they're like, he was probably rich. I'll go see if I can just pass this kid off as him, you know? It's really sad, but and gladly I've never heard of anything happen like this in my life, but I generally tend to stay out of people's businesses because of messy shit like this. I do not want to be involved. I do not want to be involved in a situation like this. This sounds terrible. Like in any way. But yeah, so were the papers legitimate? She says they were. That's the first thing the attorney looked into. It's a working theory is that she didn't know when she filed. Why she waited so long is anyone's guess. That is fishy. But a lot of times girls are just nervous for whatever reason. So I can't really say that's like immediate red flag. It could be a number of things why she waited so long, you know? Procrastination is a crazy phenomenon. So you gotta think. There could be any number of reasons why they waited for so fucking long to do this. And then another comment here, not the asshole, you owe her nothing. And then a little info here. Other than her word, do you have any proof that he actually did sleep with her? Do you have any other reason to change your opinion at your husband at this point? So the OP says here, I haven't found anything definitive that he was sleeping with anyone else, but I did find that he was hiding a drug addiction and lying about a lot of other things. So it's possible. So this is new information. Drug addiction, a hidden drug addiction, makes sense that the bank account was empty then, because he probably owes a lot of money. I don't know how you can hide a drug addiction though. Apparently, did he have a job? I don't know if he had a job, but if he doesn't have anything in his bank account, it's unlikely. So it's like, what did you think he did all day? Like, what was your thought? Like, oh shit, he does drugs. Whoa, could have never. Like, what did you actually think he did? What did he say, he was going fishing or something? Like, what the fuck, bro? How do you people believe this shit? You know, just face value. 8 fucking years, dog. Well, the kid is 8 years old. I don't know if it was that long of a marriage, but yeah, people just don't ask the right questions. People just don't ask questions in general. Ignorance is bliss, dog. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so we got our leaf. We are going back to the king. Um, those guys were not that hard. I do have all of my wonderful party members with me. As you can see here, I did get a little cosplay for KU. She's now Princess Ruto. I tried my hardest. I like put her in the Link hat, you know, get a little Link cosplay. So she's cosplaying as Princess Ruto, cosplaying as Link, you know. So it's like a like an intrinsic cosplay there. Um, there's layers. There's layers. Don't you love that? Don't you love that? We are gonna pause here, and I'm gonna come back with the rest of this story in the next part. We're gonna split this up a little bit. We're about halfway through this Reddit story. And here we are. So, we're going to clarify on the possible estate from OP here. OP says, when I say there was no estate, I mean there was no estate. We had separate bank accounts. He was empty. His was empty, and there was $40 in his wallet. He didn't work. He had no life insurance. He was genuinely uninterested in handling financial stuff. What do you mean uninterested in handling financial stuff? What does that mean? I don't care about money. There was nothing else that wasn't jointly owned or solely in my name. So she was basically fostering this guy. He doesn't care anything about money. He doesn't have a job. This nigga just putting babies in you. Recreationally. What the fuck is going on in this world, man? This is why I say this should be a huge confidence booster to you guys. A huge one. Because, damn. Dude had literally nothing going for him besides his face and his cock. His face cock. The graphics in this game are really good too, by the way. I really like how they actually have him holding the leaf. Not a lot of games would do that. Not a lot of games would do that. And you'll see little details like that a lot through the cutscenes in this game. I feel like the cutscenes are they're kind of the best part. So I really hope you guys are enjoying what we're doing here, what we're trying to make happen here, okay? Okay, back to the story. Not the asshole, but keeping a rental property would have been a better choice than selling it and letting it sit in a bank account for a decade. That's true. That's true. But that place was an albatross. It needed thousands of dollars worth of work and didn't have the bandwidth to be a landlord at that time. It's actually in a brokerage account, so it's not losing ground to inflation. That's, you know, a nice compromise. It would earn them more money in the background if it was a rental property that was in their name, but she's a girl. Guys, you're forgetting it's a woman. It's a woman. And she's been doing this all by herself for so long. And she's also a single mom. Like, Jesus Christ. It'd be different if it was a guy. Because guys can handle stuff like that. They can be managers. They can yada, yada, yada. But, you know, you're not going to expect every girl to be able to be a boss babe. To be a boss babe, you have to sacrifice a lot of femininity. And a lot of girls don't want to do that. So, fuck it. You know, sell it. Yeah, owning fucking real estate is a guy thing, you know? It is a guy thing. Of course, there are a lot of real estate, girls in the real estate business, but in the rental property business, but it's generally a guy thing. It's generally a guy thing. And most jobs are. Let's be real. So I'm surprised that she's the one who's held down the job and held down everything financially in this relationship, and she had no problem with it. Like he had to die for you to fucking break up with this guy. Um, and of course she's like, oh, if he was alive, I probably still wouldn't be with him. But I call cap on that. Like he had no job. He had nothing going for him but his dick, but his wee wee, and you were along for the ride. You married him. Marriage is a two-way street. There's no way one person can want it a lot and the other person can want it not at all and it work out for more than a couple of years. Um, but yeah, somebody asked another comment: does OOP or her child qualify for survivor benefits? And then she said, my child does receive benefits, but not nearly as much. It's enough to cover therapy bills. My husband hadn't worked consistently in at least 10 years. 10 years? But thankfully, I did have enough credits to qualify. That's crazy. That's crazy. He didn't work for 10 years and you still were with him. Like, where was his money coming from? I know you didn't give him an allowance. I know that didn't happen. That's insane, man. Like I said, guys, just huge confidence booster, right? Anybody can do it. Maybe this girl's ugly as sin too. Who knows? So, like I said, this update pretty recent, December 5th. And what we find out here? What we find out? Is it the child? Is it the child? Who knows? Who knows? Let's continue reading here. Let's continue reading here. And so it is his child. Oh no! Or at least there's enough shared DNA to determine that my in-laws are the grandparents, and there's no way that it's their other sons. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The biggest update is that the mother doesn't currently have custody. Really? So this bitch really was trying to get a bag. And that is it. That is square 10 and all the rest. She was really just trying to get a bag. I'm still a bit unsure of the timeline, but there might have already been a CPS case when she first contacted me. She's apparently a fan of the same illicit substances my husband was. That would explain how they met. Okay, so we still don't know what drugs he was doing. In my honest opinion, I don't think it can be weed. I don't think it can be something as simple as just fucking marijuana. It's probably heroin or something. But I'm not a drug aficionado. I just smoke shit. I'm not too into the drug scene, honestly. I don't even really... It's mostly for, like, recovery and creativeness, so... And once my body starts hurting, and once I can reliably create, which I already kind of can. I just kind of have fun with it. I don't really rely on it like that. And I don't want to rely on it like that. I want to stop smoking at some point. I don't want to smoke for the rest of my life. At least not to the extent I'm doing it now. But yeah, it's a funny thing. It's very easy to be a cheater when you do crazy drugs. It's very easy. And the reason why is because when you do drugs, what do you want to do drugs with? Other people. And then who are the other people? 50% of the time they're women. And guys, you know this, I know this, let's not fucking beat around the bush. Girls get horny when they do drugs. Girls get horny when they do drugs. It doesn't matter which drug, it doesn't matter if it's alcohol or drugs. They're gonna get horny. It affects the mind, and when it affects the mind, they just fucking wanna fuck. Just fucking wanna fuck. So, take that information, if you didn't know it, take that information with and do with what you want to with it. But I think it should be fairly obvious to anyone who's ever taken drugs that they are definitely a relationship activant and not a suppressant. I don't care who you are. Okay, I guess you could be one of those guys that like, oh, I drink coffee and I go to sleep. You could be one of those fucking weirdos, but If you are, you probably understand that you're not the norm, so I don't need to tell you that. So yeah, baby's hers. They're both druggies. Yada yada yada. Unfortunately, that means the child is now in foster care. My in-laws were not deemed appropriate replacement, so I won't do it, and I won't do it. Um, I have been working with a caseworker in regards to Social Security benefits for the child. In my state, survivor benefits offset any child support obligations. So even if there were an estate, the Social Security benefits would most likely exceed the amount he would owe based on his work history prior to death. This hasn't affected my own child's benefits. Okay. Okay. So looks like she's not getting her bag. I haven't determined exactly what I will do with this information going forward. I have set aside some money in an online savings account, but it's still in my name. Until the mother's rights are completely terminated or the child ages out of the system, I don't want anything that would possibly give her access to it. I will eventually have to tell my child that there is a sibling out there. I've been going through the ringer for the last couple months and I'm still just so fucking mad. I'm still cleaning up my husband's mess. You chose poorly! I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I blew out your eardrums there. But yeah, and it sucks. It sucks, but now you have no choice but to take accountability. Um, and yeah, that is almost the end here. We got like a couple more comments left and stuff like that. So while I go through this, I am gonna try and speed through these comments here. Does OOP's husband have any siblings that could take the child in? There are two siblings, both out of state. His brother is single and the military isn't a good option. His sister is, let's just say militantly child free. Hmm. Uh, I can't really fault them for that. There are a couple of cousins that might be suitable eventually. I'm not really sure what's going on in that process because even though I'm friendly with the caseworker, I'm also not related to this child, nor am I a licensed foster provider, so there are limits to what she can tell me due to privacy. Yeah. This is such a dark industry too, the foster care industry. Especially if I imagine this is a very small infant child. Um like at least toddler age, like 3 to 0. And those babies are very valuable. So if you guys didn't know, the foster care industry is an extremely lucrative industry. And pretty disgusting under wraps because there's not a lot of babies and there's a lot of people who want babies, right? So with the supply and demand, it makes the money changes and the things people will do to get what they want very seedy, very malicious, very sus, right? Right? It just makes sense how it goes. I know we're talking about people. I know we're talking about babies, probably the most valuable people in the world. But people do some fucking disgusting shit to get them. I assure you, it's not fun. It's not cool. It's not like, oh, you work with babies. That's so cute. It's not. It's actually very sad what a lot of these kids go through, and a lot of the psychological help that they have to have just because they're in this industry. Um, but it's a result of the world. It's a result of people wanting to fuck and not wanting the responsibility. Um, Want to fuck for free? You can't fuck for free. Um, and then people are asking why the original poster can't take the child in. I won't go as far as calling them a burden, but I'm in no position to take in another child, and I've taken measures to prevent that. I already feel like I fail my own child on a weekly basis. Oh my god. I really can't understand this, how people just they always think, no matter what, adding another person into my life will make it better. And sometimes they can just bring a net negative to you, and you won't realize it until it's far too late. And this guy obviously just made her life so much worse, and it's very sad. I also just skipped the dungeon, by the way. There, you can just go warp to Fishman and use the map to warp to the end of the dungeon. I just didn't feel like doing it. I just did not feel like doing it. And if I warp there, I can make this cleanly in an hour, so I can just cut them up. But anyways, And then we got a comment here that's just, yeah, it's just like, oh, you're so amazing. Keeping it smart, keeping it safe. Can't imagine how hard it's been for you. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Feelings, feelings, feelings. So I'm not gonna read that. You guys can read that on your own time. Go find the Reddit post. Right now, what I'm gonna do for you while we fight this boss is I am going to give you some marriage signs. I got 5 here. And I'm gonna explain them a little bit because this woman did not know or did not see these. You know, either way, either way. And this is just general things for maybe even relationships. Maybe not like a whole fucking marriage, guys, but just in general relationships that you want to form, that you want to be valuable to you. You have to look for these. You have to look for these 5 things. And if they're not there, maybe just evaluate what you're doing with them. Evaluate the amount of time that you want to dedicate to building with them. Because, like, our time here is limited, and we have to be proficient in the way we attract and cut off. So in order to make your process a little bit more proficient here, I'm going to give you some signs. Over here we have the boss. This is where she betrays us and is like, I took you to this fountain to become Spider. Yeah, it's a fun boss. I do enjoy it. So we'll fight this thing. I'll give you the signs. The first sign is shared values, okay? Shared values are important because we have to be working towards the same goal. Or at least come to a same compromise or a value compromise, you know? You can't have conflicting forces against you just regularly, you know? So if you find someone that doesn't really want what you want out of a relationship, like let's say, oh, I just want somebody who provides more peace, you know, to my life, maybe cooks a little bit, and they want someone who's gonna be super exciting for them, and then is going to go out and buy them 5-star dinners every night. You know, you see how that conflicts? You see how that conflicts a little bit, you know? So it's really good to see what you want in relationships. It's really good to see like what their faith is, you know, Christian, agnostic, Buddhist, whatever that is. You just have to know and see if that aligns with you. See if you're okay with going with someone with a maybe a little different perspective on religion. And you have to appeal to those values. And you have to compromise. You have to accept them, and you have to make sure they accept yours. That's a number 1. That's a number 1. Number 2 is expectation discussion. You have to discuss your expectations. So a lot of things we just kind of willy-nilly, we just do it, you know? But whenever you're working together with someone and you're doing something, I think you have to establish who's going to play a primary and a secondary in every event, you know? Like as far as household chores, if you're living together, let's say, who's usually going to do the dishes? Who's usually going to clean the floor? You know, who's the primary in this? Who's the primary in this? Who's the primary in that? If you want a structured and productive relationship, establishing these as soon as possible will definitely help you. It will definitely drive your relationship forward in a positive manner. And you have to be flexible as well. Defined flexible roles, right? And number 3 is shared interest, right? So this isn't like as important. I'd say the other 2 are a little bit more important than this one. But you at least have to have activities that you're willing to do with each other that you can share. You know, it doesn't like you don't have to like already have these or already be doing these alone and then you do them together. You know, you can be introduced to new things by this partner, but you have to be malleable in your day to day and share your world. You have to want to share your world. A lot of people do stuff alone that they don't feel like doing with other people, and that's fine. But if you're going to be in a relationship, then you have to accept that some of the things that you do are not going to be alone. You have to do them with this other person or with other people. Um, as a extroverted introvert, this can be hard for me because I have the capacity to be very fun and very extroverted and very entertaining around other people. However, I have no desire, nor do I derive any pleasure from that. Um, I get all of my energy from myself. Um, I don't know when I realized that, but I when I did realize it, it became very hard for me to like dedicate time to other people. So I just stopped initiating. And when I stopped initiating, I would also, I would go to things when I was invited to or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But now in this phase of life, now where I am now, I've stopped initiating and I've stopped dedicating time to go where people ask me to go. Um, because I just don't feel like it. I feel like dedicating time to myself. I feel like the time that I dedicate to myself brings me more energy, which brings me more energy to dedicate to myself, and then like self-fulfilling prophecy. So I feel like if I grind my gears enough, I will grow. And right now, that's all I'm interested in. All I'm interested in, is self growth and acceptance. Self growth, self growth. Wow, that was disgusting. Self growth and acceptance and gaining new skills. So, and then number four is there's my emblem. Ooh, baby. Effective communication. Okay, so we're gonna be able to make a point in your voice being heard. You have to argue effectively. If you're arguing with someone and you feel like your point isn't getting across, like they just don't understand you, that's a two-way street problem. That's a you problem and that's a them problem. But either way, there's no way it can work if the problem continues. Something needs to change, something needs to give, right? Because you need to be effectively understood. Um, and arguments are inevitable. There's no way you can get around altercations and arguments because we're people. We're not going to agree on everything. But if you don't establish that they have power, agency in the situation, and you have power, agency in the situation, and we're working together to create a solution, then there's just no way it can work. And the last one is attraction, guys. You just got to be attracted to them. And this is why it's the last one. Because it's honestly not that important. A lot of the times with relationships I've had, I've started not very attracted to them, like initially. And it just kind of grows. And this is why I think guys are the true romantics. Because I've heard this from a lot of guys, actually. Yeah, yeah. And it's happened to me with girls I haven't dated, too. I look at them and I'm like, oh, you're kind of ugly. And then I just get to know them more. And I'm like, oh, no, I could, yeah. They're kind of cool. They're kind of cool. So those are my signs, guys. Everybody have a good day, and I'll see you next time.